All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another match preview. Chelsea versus Southampton. Chelsea at home. Ooh, we better win. It's a must win. I'm not going to hide the fact. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know us three over here, Daniel and Ishan, we are going to have some serious conversations today. And there's going to be no sugarcoating. We lost against City. We lost against Juve. Draw's not going to cut it. We need a win. A W is the only possible solution here for us. Anything else, and it's really going to be detrimental. And that doesn't mean that I'm doubting Thomas Tuchel. No, not at all. I'm very, very sure Thomas Tuchel is the right man for us to get us out of this particular situation that we're in. So I'm not worried about that. I just want the players to wake up. But before we get into all of that, Ishan, my boy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
You fresh. Look like a boy today. You look like a little youngster.
I'm looking fresh. I tried to copy Dan here, but then fine, I'm looking fresh. I hope the Chelsea attack looks fresh in the next game, because if not, I'm going to be fuming.
Fuming. Oh, man. That would better look fresh. I mean, Daniel, you've said it before we went live that there's a lot of things you want to get off your chest today. I mean, how you feeling, man?
Dan didn't get his chance, right?
Exactly. How you doing?
Look, I'm caught in two minds here. I'm buzzing, long weekend, Chelsea match, but yeah, the last two fixtures, slightly concerning to say at the least. But hopefully, big weekend for us.
No, hopefully, and then it's international break. So anything less than a win, I can't handle it. I cannot handle that 2 weeks of international break.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's going to be very, very tough. Okay, boys, let's get straight into this. We're going to talk about the press conference. So much to talk in this press conference. So let's get straight into it right away. First of all, Mason Mount is back. I thought he was probably not going to be available against Southampton. I mean, Daniel, I'll start with you. As you can see here, Mason Mount is available to face Southampton. The other thing that I do want to bring out is this particular quote from Thomas Tuchel. I think football now is about connections, and Lukaku feels a strong connection with Mason Mount and Mateo Kovacic. Everyone else lacks it a little bit. Now, that's huge news when your boss comes out and says that this player, do you know what I mean? Like, he's got that extra connection with Lukaku, he's fit. How do you feel, man? Does he slot into the team for you straight away?
Yeah. For me, absolutely. He's a player that over this past year has proven to be a pivotal first-team player. He hasn't had a sustained period of rest since, God, I can't remember since the last time he's been out the side for this long. So he jumped straight back into the side. The 3-5-2 or the 3-4-1-2, whatever you want to call it, hasn't worked out. I know we had luck against Tottenham when he came off at halftime, but the last two performances just haven't given me a lot of confidence that we can effectively operate as a team without Mason Mount in that starting 11. And, yes, his numbers haven't been fantastic, but the quality he brings in terms of his work rate, his pressing and his defensive attributes, he's got to play.
No, 100%. And Ishan knows it very well. When we've done the City watch-along, we said, someone like Mason Mount, his work rate off the ball is so important. Ishan, bear this in mind, this particular comment from Thomas Tuchel, where he talks about connection with Lukaku. But then he also says this: we, of course, miss Mason. The whole team missed Kante and Mason. Of course, that's why he plays. Reece James too. Yes, of course. Pulisic, of course. We have a squad, and the duty for me as a coach to find a solution. It's possible to win games without Mason Mount. We saw in the last couple of games, Ishan, that the fan base was screaming for Mason Mount. And we do need to remember, against Spurs, Mason Mount came off. He had to be taken off. Kante came in, and we looked like a totally different team in the second half. Now, we have to remember as a fan base, yes, Mason Mount is a supreme player. He has to slot in. He's got when he's good. And this is what Thomas Tuchel said. It's very important to realize when the players are in form, they should be playing. When not in form, we do need to have that solution to win. How do we win? And also the players that are injured, when they're not available, we do need to find ways to win. We can't just be blaming that, oh, N'Golo Kante is not there, or Pulisic is not there, or Mason Mount's not there. We have to find solutions. So, Ishan, how do you sort of look at that, both things together? Thomas Tuchel saying that the connection between Mason Mount and Lukaku is high, but at the same time, Mount has to play a high level percentage of game as well.
Yeah, I do agree. And I thought that I think I missed Mason Mount the last game. The last two games I did miss. And I think so he's the hope for us at this point of time when we're seeing the fact that we're lacking a lot in terms of the intensity in the attacking. And I think so, and I hope that Mason Mount brings in. But the concern here is right from the beginning of the season, even Mason Mount has not been at his 100%. We knew the Mason Mount from the last season. We've not seen that Mason Mount in this season in the initial games. But yes, we know that Mason Mount possesses certain qualities that maybe no one else does in the team. And that's why he's so important for us. And I would have wanted him against Juventus, but I do agree with Thomas Tuchel that the way he said, it's not that we always have to rely on Mason Mount. There are games that we have to win with and without a particular player.
Exactly.
And that is very, very important. Tomorrow you might not have a Lukaku in your team, and you might have to you definitely
forfeit, bro. Forfeit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to win it, right? Tomorrow you might not have a Rudiger or maybe a Thiago Silva or maybe an Aspilicueta, but still you have to win that. You just cannot be dependable. So the bottom line here is he wanted to say that as a unit we must be strong, and at this point of time as a unit we do not look strong. We might rely on one player, which we do not want at this point of time, but at this point of time we just need the spark of positivity in this team, and this can be bought with wins. Now wins is what we need, and this is what this football club thrives for. It's win and nothing else. And then if Mason Mount comes and brings that intensity up front and wins us the next game probably, then the nerves might calm down a little bit. If not, and there's a possibility that it might not work, because if we have a bad phase, then we'll have a bad phase. Nobody can change that. We've discussed this in the review, miss, that it might happen that Mason Mount come and nothing changes. Timo Werner comes, nothing changes. If we do have a bad phase, we'll have a bad phase. And if that's the case, then I think so it's something which is affecting this team mentally. And I just hope that this does not go too deep. Just like Thomas Tuchel said that at this point of time, it's not the time to panic. It's the time to analyze, calm yourselves down, and then just give the output in the next game, regardless of whatever it is. Keep yourself positive and just give the output in the next game. I also liked Thomas Tuchel, the way he said, the way he, just tried to bring out the positives there. He said that we won't be the last team to be beaten by Juventus at their place. And I think so. That's true. Maybe we should just keep that there and just move on. Keep the positives with us. We're still a good team and we can achieve really well and a really good high in this season. So I hope and Mason Mount at this point of time, I feel that he's going to go good. Talking about his partnership with Lukaku, I think so. This is something which every player has to do. If we want Lukaku to score and Lukaku to be the guy for us to win games, every player has to complement Lukaku. There's no ways whatsoever. Kai Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic when he comes back, Hudson-Odoi, whoever it is, the wing backs, Chilwell and Aspilicueta, every single one of them has to complement this guy and has to have the chemistry between them, or else it's going to be difficult, because he at this point of time is playing as a target man, and if you don't complement this guy, you're going to be clueless, just like the last game against Juventus. So you can't be here saying that I'm not liking, or you're not having the chemistry between yourself and Lukaku. No, that shouldn't be the case. We should play as a team. Maybe Thomas Tuchel might bring out some ways where Lukaku will be changing a little bit of tactics, maybe drop it a little bit deep down and then play. There are lots of possibilities, but the bottom line is every single one of them have to show up the next game. Like Dan said, it's the most important game for me to win psychologically, mentally. It's the most important game next game, and we definitely have to win this.
No, 100%, man. I mean, this is what Thomas Tuchel said as well, that let's not forget, not that long ago, we had a really good, decent second half against Spurs. We also went through against Aston Villa, so be it probably wasn't the greatest. We also beat Arsenal, which was a good game. So it wasn't that long ago that, the team still was winning well. So obviously just a couple of games of lapses, which we'll talk about, no doubt. But it's not crisis point. It's not crisis point at all. Daniel, let's talk about the other injured player, Reece James, which was an interesting one because Reece James actually got selected for the England squad along with Mason Mount. And they were asking Thomas Tuchel, how did Reece James make the England squad when he's still injured for Chelsea? And this is what he had to say. When I saw the news, I thought maybe Reece goes with the water polo team as he's training in the pool. I'm surprised. My understanding is that he will not go, said Thomas Tuchel. I mean, sometimes I find it very strange. I don't know if these national coaches are talking to each other, to the club coaches. I mean, I'd be so surprised if he's playing for England, Daniel. His pain that he was on, Reece James, with his ankle, that looked pretty deep. And the last thing you want is this player to go to England matches or even train and then aggravate that injury. I mean, Daniel, for me, Reece James has become a hugely important player for us because we saw the impetus that we're lacking in the wing-backs position. As much as I like Aspie a lot, I don't want to see him in the wing-backs, man. I really want him to slot him back into the RCB. So what do you think about Reece James, man? I mean, hopefully he just recovers this particular international break.
Yeah. No, you're bang on. He is so pivotal to this team long term because you look at the other options we have in that role, and you've got two polar opposites, in my opinion. Azpilicueta, who is, yes, he's a very consistent performer, but I much prefer him in that right centre-back role. I just don't think he brings enough quality as a right wing-back. I think it's important that for a right wing-back to suit Tuchel's system, that they have that attacking ability. And I just don't think that Azpilicueta at his age brings that. He's never really been that type of player. And then you have the exact opposite in Callum Hudson-Odoi, who, in all fairness to him, is not a right wing back. He's played his entire career as a left and at times right winger, but he's always played in a front third role where he's never had to focus on the defensive side of his game. So psychologically, he's not ready to play this right wing back role. I don't think he ever will be, which is why I wanted to see him get shipped out to Dortmund to see what he can do when playing in the front third. Because without Reece James, I don't trust Hudson-Odoi. I know he doesn't want to play in that role. He's come out and publicly stated, he doesn't know how to play the position. He's he's too busy focusing on the defensive aspect on the game of the game, and you can see it in the way he plays against Juventus. He just got everything wrong. I just think the fundamentals he doesn't fully understand in that role. And as Azpilicueta, it just doesn't inspire me, and this is why I think we're really starting to hurt now that we didn't go for Achraf Hakimi or that we didn't Tino Livramento, because these are two players that have been absolutely on fire to start this season, playing in that right wing back role. So it's immensely important that we have Reece James coming back to fitness soon, because I think without him, we are struggling to fill the void.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, so important to have a player like Reece James in the wing-back position, and not having him, as you said, it's a bit of a compromise at the moment. All right.
Yeah.
That's about players' ins and outs. We talked a little bit about Mason, man. Let's now talk about the game in itself. Ishan, I'll talk to you first, then I'll get Daniel's perspective. We've had two losses, two poor losses. And Thomas Tuchel touched on this, that we've played two extremes. And I talked about this in the last review as well. A team that has pressed us out of the world, Man City, and a team that just sat deep and just created a deep block. And we didn't have an answer for that. Thomas Tuchel said that, look, it's about that last 10%. We were more or less there in the game, 90% of the time. It's that last 10%, the focus, the execution. Against City, we just couldn't basically get out of our box. When we countered, we couldn't connect properly with our strikers. And then against Juve, he said that it's very difficult to take charge of the match when the opposition doesn't want to play. You have to set the tempo. You have to basically set everything. And it's very difficult to get into that rhythm and move the ball around quickly when the opposition are just static, staying there. So he said that, look, it's that final 10%. the concentration level. We gifted a goal. He said we gifted a goal to City. We fell asleep against Juve. I mean, Ishan, what is it that you want to see against Southampton from your perspective, looking at the last two matches?
First of all, I know it's not going to be easy. And I'm telling you this straight. It's not going to be easy. People might compare Man City, Juventus, and then Southampton, so the level is going down. Absolutely not. They've been good defensively, very, very good.
Yeah.
If you look at the last few games of Southampton, and I've told that already in the match review of the last match, they've it's been difficult to score against them.
Draw against Man United, draw against
West
Man
Ham.
City, draw against West Ham.
Draw against West Ham, draw against Man City, draw against Newcastle as well. And they've just lost to Wolves by one goal, and that was an amazing.
They don't concede. They don't concede.
Yeah, that was an amazing Raul Jimenez score, a solo goal, or else they wouldn't have conceded by any means. Their goalkeeper is also good, and their defense is looking quite very rigid and well stable now. So first of all, it's not going to be easy, and like you said, they are going to sit back. They're going to sit back and sit back tight. They're not going to let us, have a lot of dominant game at their half. They're gonna push a little bit more in their box, but then they're gonna be very rigid in front of the goal. So it's going to be a difficult game. First of all, next thing, another thing I'd like to point out is that from the press conference itself, that Thomas Tuchel said one thing, that these are some games, just like you said, we conceded one goal against Man City, which one was some sort of deflection from Jorginho, and then the other we just slept in against Juventus right at the beginning of the second half. And he went on and said that what if maybe we could have got one goal at the end of the game and the result was draw, maybe people wouldn't have criticized so much. But I wouldn't be happy, and I told you this straight right after the Juventus game at the review. I wouldn't have been happy even if we had gone to and win that game, because the intensity was not there, the positivity was not there. We were
the entire game as a package was not good.
Not good, exactly. And even if you get a goal, if you'd get a point out of that game, I wouldn't have been satisfied. I wouldn't have been confident. The next game, I couldn't have said that we're gonna smash Southampton easily. No, that's not the case. Why? Because we were not good at that game in the overall basis, and that's it is what it is. You need to have that intensity, right? Look, like I said, losing it's not bad. We lose. We do have games here and there, but there should be improvements. There should be a positive intent in the game.
Mannerism of losing. That's what I always say. Losing is part of the game, but it's the manner how you lose is very important.
Also, the opposition. We've lost against Man City. If you look at an overview, right? Man City, Juventus, big teams, and you've lost against them 1-0, 1-0. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. If you look this from as an overview, not at all a big deal. But what concerns is the way we're playing and the way we're losing. I mean, at a bad day, these both games could have been 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 easily. Maybe we can say that luck was on our side, that's why we just sneaked with a 1-0 loss. But on a bad day, maybe we could have just lost 3-0, 4-0 both of these games. Regardless, leave that alone. The positive intent should be there. Like I said, the improvement should have been there. And this next game, again, maybe it's definitely not going to be easy. And Hassan Hutel is a wonderful, wonderful manager. I really, really rate him a lot. And I know that if this guy goes on to a better team, he's going to do lols with the better players if he has them. But as of now, Southampton is looking very good and very well balanced at the back. It's going to be difficult. But again, this is the game that we'd want. And like you said, this is the last game before the 2-week international break. We cannot afford to lose this and even draw this. I wouldn't take a draw. I would want to see improvements. There should be coordination between the defense, attack, and midfield. The attacking tens, oh my days, please perform. These attacking tens have been absent right from game one, and you just can see and say that these are the problems at this point of time majorly. The others have been doing well. Listen, people might find out and might raise fingers at Jorginho, Kovacic at this point of time, but they've been doing decent. Why? Because we've not been conceding way too much goal. They didn't have good games. don't get me wrong, they did not have good games, the perfect games. Juventus game was not that good. Man City game was not that good, but still they were doing the job. That's why maybe we sneaked out with just a 1-0 loss for both of the games. But at this point of time, everybody needs to click, and especially the attackers. If we need goals, our two attacking tens must click 100%. And whoever plays, I really hope they just bring on that positivity in the game. And that's all I want to see. If I see the positive intent in the game, I see that intensity level up there, I'll be happy.
Brilliant. Daniel, we haven't had the chance to speak to you post those two matches. This is the first time. I mean, what are you expecting? I mean, Thomas Tuchel was asked that Southampton, what are you expecting from Southampton? He said, look, they press well, and they do. We've actually struggled against Southampton previously. They've pressed us out of their out of the world in Frank Lampard's first season. In the second game, first one obviously we won. I remember it was like 4-1 or 4-2, something like that. But the second game we lost 2-0 at their home ground, I believe, and they pressed us out of the world. And even last season, I remember when Lampard was still around, it was a 3-3 where they pressed really well after being 2-0 down. And then against when Thomas Tuchel was on, they were actually leading 1-0, and luckily we got away with 1-0. But I do have to agree with Ishan that I don't expect them to really press us from the front at Stamford Bridge. However, I do expect them to sit deep, but then press from deep. When we come closer to them, they'll try and sneak, they'll try and take the ball from us and then try and hit us on the counter. I mean, first of all, Daniel, talk to me, obviously, your feelings off the back of the two losses, and what are you expecting against Southampton?
So first of all, off the back of those two losses, again, disappointed because it wasn't the scoreline. Going down to Man City on paper and Juventus on paper isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but it's the manner of the defeats. We were in such great form on paper, and that Manchester City result was really just a soul-crushing blow because they were just levels between City and Chelsea. They looked like a team years ahead of us, which is crazy to think. We'd won our last 3 against them and completely outmaneuvered Pep Guardiola. So that was a bitter blow. But it's a disappointing one. But ultimately, that goal again was a deflection that went in. So I thought, look, bad day at the office. These things happen. But Juventus, losing to this Juventus side was so disappointing because this is by no means a quality Juventus team. This is a team that has struggled in Serie A. I believe heading into the game, they had 1 clean sheet in their previous 23 matches. They were
leaking goals. Yeah, look, right. I mean, look at them. They were sitting so deep against us. They didn't want to play football.
They didn't play particularly well. And on top of that, they're without their 2 best attacking players in Paulo Dybala and Alvaro Morata. Yet we were so poor all over the pitch. We played a style of football. You're making me feel
bad, man. Honestly, the wounds are coming back again.
We were trying to overcome. Get over this.
Oh man, I feel like we should have beaten Juventus.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm triggering you guys.
Get it out, man. Get it out.
Get it out, bro.
Get it out.
So disappointing, right? And also conceding such a soft goal, from the kickoff. It's just like I would never see that from a Thomas Tuchel Chelsea side to switch off like that. But in saying that, if Romelu Lukaku scores takes that opportunity, we get a draw away at Juventus. And I already
had quite a few opportunities that game. He actually
had a few half chances 100%. That header could have been better. But that one, people are saying, Romelu Lukaku, I'm already hearing talks to drop him. And I just think that is so absurd because he has had little to no opportunities this year. His conversion
Bro, tell me who are these people? I want to go and visit them. Who are these people?
It's ridiculous. I see it. I was watching the press conference today and I saw so many comments saying drop Lukaku. I saw some say Tuchel out. I just thought, my God.
Those must be City fans.
We have some of the most deluded fans at times.
Definitely Arsenal and Spurs fans, man.
Maybe it was the Arsenal fans hijacking. But Oh man, I'm
They're
praying for.
tired of saying Arteta out, so they have to bring on
They
something
need
new and say
Tuchel out. That oh my
yeah,
god,
exactly.
don't out of context. This is going to sound weird, but and in regards to your last question about Southampton, they're going to be a difficult test because we've seen, like you mentioned, Manchester City. They gave them a game at the Etihad. They took it to them. Yes, they sat back a little deeper, but they still created opportunities.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they should have had the penalty. They should have. They were so unfortunate not to get a penalty for City to go down to 10 men. They probably deserved a win in that match. Against Manchester United, same thing. So they're going to be
Honestly,
willing to play.
Manchester United, they should have probably won that as well. I mean, I know
that
United had
first
some
half,
chances in the
battered
second.
them.
They battered them
Yeah.
first half. Yeah.
And so they're a team now where things are getting pretty, concerning for them too. So there's so much to play for from their perspective. So I think it's going to be a tense fixture for sure.
No, 100%, man. Obviously, we're going to talk about the lineups and whatnot, get more into details of this match. But the other thing that I want to talk about, Ishan, I'm going to bring this up. Tino Livramento, we finally got some sort of clarification from Thomas Tuchel. This is what he had to say when they asked about Tino Livramento at the moment. Tino Livramento, how we could have done with a player like Tino Livramento right now in the wing backs. That right side would have been absolutely lit. He's one of the best talents at the moment in the Premier League, I'd say, from that right back position.
100%.
He's by far one of Southampton's best player, and that's why he keeps starting as a youngster. This is what Thomas Tuchel had to say about Tino Livramento. We saw the potential, but Tino decided to go another way. We did everything to keep him here to compete for a position in our team. There was a big chance for him to make it all the way, but it's fair enough to go. I mean, Ishan, from your perspective, there's so many fans at times they blame Chelsea. Oh, we sell all of these youngsters, and I've said it many times, man. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. As you can see, Thomas Tuchel saying we wanted him to stay, but he had other plans. He wanted to start every game. He didn't want to be in the bench and wait for his opportunity when. Let's say right now where Reece James is injured or Azpilicueta needs a bit of rest, he didn't want to stick around for that. He wanted to play every single game. So, I mean, Ishan, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to promise Tino Livramento that you're going to play every game when you've still got Reece James and Azpilicueta in the wing. So, I mean, luckily we've got the buyback clause, Ishan. I feel like this guy will try his level best to put one against us. I'm a bit worried that... Yeah. You know how when the ex sort of employees, they come and meet the former employers, they always have that incentive to do well.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tino Livramento? And obviously, do you envisage in the future that Chelsea might trigger that buyback?
Miz, you might remember the first time we talked about Livramento back in the transfer season times, and I said that this guy is going to be good. And I've seen him multiple times, many
watch academy games. Yeah,
I do, and I've seen this guy, and I've said multiple times that this guy is going to be a rock star in the coming days. And look what he's doing, and I'm not surprised. And I told you that I'm not surprised. But the thing here is, there are two perspectives of it. Like Thomas Tuchel said, there are two perspectives. From Livramento's point of view, for his development and his progression in his gameplay, it's important for him to start every game. Fine, right? But from Chelsea's point of view, I think so. Chelsea might be thinking that, listen, you've just come out of the academy. You're so young. You're just 18 years old, about to be 19. Why
gradually you'll come in.
Yeah. Why not? Maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line, you'll definitely see Azpilicueta maybe pave the way out of the club, and maybe you can be the starting guy alongside Reece James. It's not necessary the fact that you have to be a competitor to Reece James. You can start alongside him if you're a good talent, and if you're gonna do good at every chance you get. You definitely will be undroppable, just like the other players are, just like Rudiger is at this point of time.
Look at Chalobah. He made his opportunity. He's now part of the squad. Yeah.
And you cannot expect, and I've heard even you guys in All You Can Eat talk about this. Mati said that as a youngster, you just cannot just bang the door of the coach and say, listen, I'm going to play every game, when you're 18 years old and you've got the likes of Champions League winners there on the line, where they've won you the Champions League, and what do you think, you're going to start ahead of them? Absolutely no. You need to wait for your chance, and you need to be patient for that. I would have understood you if you were the age of Hudson-Odoi. I would have understood you. But still, Hudson-Odoi, being Hudson-Odoi, he's humble enough to say that, okay, I'm here for my chance, and I'm here to fight for my place. And that's what it takes to build you a guy with a strong mentality. He will definitely develop his game. I'm not sure how much he'll be developing this thing mentally, because they're going to be tough times ahead. You're not going to start every single time for every single game, and any team you go, they're going to be tough times. And then you shouldn't be surprised if his form just drops down, because if you're building that mentality where you're going to start every game, that's fine. That's good for you personally. But if something happens and you drop form and you just don't pick up because you don't know how to develop yourself without a proper game time, you won't know how you won't be improving yourself. That's a concern. And that's why starting slowly and steadily, sitting in the bench, learning from others, learning from the Champions League winner is so important. Learning from the coach who's won you the Champions League, learning from your mates, from your seniors, like Azpilicueta, you've got Thiago Silva as well, Rudiger, Christensen, Jorginho, so many leaders we have, and now Lukaku as well. Learning from them is so important. And if you're rejecting that and you're choosing your life's progression first, and if you want to start all games, nobody can nobody can question that. Chelsea had to let him go, and I knew that would happen. But could he stay? Definitely yes. And he would definitely got his game time. Like, just look at this situation.
Look at now. He would have got game time right now. Do you know what I mean?
Right, straight away in the playing 11, straight away. And he would have probably got 90 minutes for 3-4 games. And also those times when Reece James was red carded and under suspension, he would have started probably every game. And he should have expected that, and he should have waited that. But no, if the ego comes ahead, and if you want that to start every game, then it is what it is, and you have to find another club for you who can make you start every game. And if it's Southampton, then so be it.
100%, man. Look, at the end of the day, hope he continues on with the development with Southampton. He's turning out to be a special player, each to their own. He wanted to look after his career, and but it's a very good point, Ishan. You said you're not gonna come across every scenario in Southampton. You would have felt the pressure at Chelsea, and maybe that would have been a different sort of experience that maybe he could have cherished, I suppose, or he would have learned a lot from. Boys, let's get straight into this lineup. This is where we're going to have quite a lot of discussion as well. Daniel, I'll give you the starting blocks. We'll go with the back three and the goalkeeper. Give me your shouts.
It's a difficult one because with my back three, I'm always thinking about okay, who's playing at wing back? With Reece James out, with Callum Hudson-Odoi showing his frustration.
Do you want to start with the wing backs? I'll let you start with the wing backs.
I think so, because I think it's pivotal to the back three selection. And I just think Callum Hudson-Odoi publicly coming out and, talking about his displeasure at playing in the right wing back role leads me to believe that he's not going to start on the weekend, and that Aspi will probably play at right wing back. So with that in mind, look, I'm torn between either Thiago Silva in that back three, in the center of the back three, or is he going to play Andreas Christensen and maybe play Trevor Chalobah at right centre back? I'm guessing that he's going to stick with Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and Andreas Christensen. But I think there's every possibility that maybe Chalobah comes into this lineup. Maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
I actually think Chalobah might. I think Thiago Silva, he played 90 minutes against Juventus. He also played most of the games against City. The travel, he's also going to travel in the international break as well. I think he may sit
that's a
this
good point.
one out. All right, let's do this and see what you guys have to. I think this brother has to come in. Chilwell.
100%.
Alonso was binned at halftime. We talked about this. I'm not saying Chilwell is some sort of an absolute, pace master either, speed demon, but at least he will think quicker for me. Alonso,
Yeah.
just quickly from both of you boys. Daniel, I'll go to you first up. Alonso, look, great. He had a really good start to the season, but you could slowly and surely see that sort of form was starting to deteriorate and go away. And against Juventus, he was just, oh my God,
Yeah.
I wanted him gone. And luckily he was gone and Chilwell's in. And we need to start integrating Chilwell in. This brother won us he was part of the Champions League team, the winning team last season, and he was doing so well. So it's high time we start seeing Chilwell in the team. What do you think?
Definitely. I think he earns the start just on the basis that Marcos Alonso, either looks tired or his form's dropped. But Chilwell hasn't looked great. In these few appearances that he's played, I don't think he set the world on fire against Juventus. I thought he was pretty average in the League Cup. I'm really disappointed with him. I don't know what I just don't know as a wing back if he has the attacking qualities to be a top wing back. I mean, defensively, he's probably a little better than Alonso, but he doesn't get enough assists. There's not enough end product with this guy. I want to see more assists, some beautiful crosses from the left side. He doesn't get forward enough. He just doesn't bring that attacking threat on the left-hand side. And we need to see more of it. We paid £50 million for it.
Yeah.
He has to step it up.
And this is what I've always said as well, that, look, Chilwell is a very good player, no doubt. But, as you said, it's not like he's absolutely lighting it up from the left side either. Look, I'm not going to be too harsh on him for the last couple of games. Obviously, he's easing himself back into the season. He hasn't played
That's
that
very
much.
true. Yeah.
But you're right. You're going to play as a left wing back. That is an attacking position for us. And you're going to have to help out in these sort of areas. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have to go up and down here and whip in the crosses. Sometimes you may even have to take shots from these sort of locations. So, Chilwell has his work cut out, and I hope he starts getting into it. Ishan, I'm going with Chilwell, Rudy, AC, Chalobah, and as much as I wanted Callum, but I really want Callum up front, but we'll get to the up front situation. I just don't think Callum is that efficient. I'm not really that confident with Aspie either, but it is what it is. We don't have Reece James. I mean, Ishan, how do you feel about this backline, man? Do you think this is what's going to happen? By the way, let's put in Mendy as well. Do you feel that's the backline that we're going to go with?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with Mendy, Rudiger, Christensen, and Chalobah. I think so. My lineup also would have these. Second, Dan earlier made very, very good points on Hudson-Odoi, and I agree every single bit of them. And I was, with this mindset right from the beginning when Hudson-Odoi was starting to play in the wing back, I knew it would not take us into any sort of bigger things with Hudson-Odoi at the wing back position. And now this should be clear. Listen, but I always had a hope that a good manager can play a player in any positions and bring out the best out of him. But at this point of time, it's not clicking. It's just not clicking with Hudson-Odoi in the wing-back position. And my point here is this is the opportunity when you have so many players injured and many players out of form like Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic injured. This is the best time to try Hudson-Odoi play at his prime position. Why don't you do that? I don't understand. Even in the last game, I would have understood completely. I know Azpilicueta didn't have the best game, but maybe that was the only game where I could say that he did not have a very, very good game, and the Man City game as well. But Azpi is fine. He'll do his job as a right wing back. But Hudson-Odoi, attacking wise, he tends to bring out something, but there's no conclusion there. He just cannot bring out that output in the final 20-30 yards. And then what's the point of playing him there? You're putting him there as an attacking prowess, but if he's not delivering at the end of the day, what's the point? Second, once you put a Hudson-Odoi there, instantly you get weak defensively. There's a psychological factor there which makes you weak defensively. So why risk that? And now, like I said, this is the best time when so many of the players are injured. This is the best time to just play Hudson-Odoi at his perfect position. Just see how does he click with Lukaku. Just try it once. Maybe not, don't start him, but at least give him the 10-15 minutes at the end of the game and just see how he clicks with Lukaku. And I think this would work. And this is the perfect chance. He wouldn't get any better chance when so many players at this position are either injured or out of form. And like I said, another thing I would like to point out that first of all, I do agree with this wing backs. This is the only thing we have in hand at this point of time. But yes, one thing I would like to point out is that Chilwell and any wing back, whoever plays, Chilwell or Alonso, their performance is, the way we're playing is, I found it heavily dependent on the left attacking forward player, whoever plays. It's so important for that player to be very fluidic in his movement in order to give spaces to the left wing back player to just go and have the overlap run. If this player, the player number 5 at the screen at this point of time, if this player number 5 does not play well or just stays static and gets heavily marked because he's not moving well, then Chilwell or any wing back player won't play good, and get stuck and will have no options just to pass to the double pivots. And that's exactly what I've been seeing from the past 2 games. And similarly, this just replicates and mirrors to the player number 7 and Azpilicueta. Same situation. And this is where we're getting stuck majorly. Because now, since we're heavily dependent on the wing backs to create chances, if these players get stuck, these wing backs cannot overlap. You know what I mean? Because they're so much heavily marked, there are no spaces. And even if they go there, there's just no options to create an attacking scenario there. So it's so important for these 2 attacking tens to perform good, at least be fluidic in their movement, in order for these wing backs to create something out of nothing and at least have a free flow in their movement, right? So that's my point. And I think so Chilwell, I hope he gets a good game. But right from the beginning of the show, I'm saying that these attacking 2 tens, it's so important from attacking point of view. It's so important for these 2 players to click and just have a good intensified game. This helps us in so many ways. If not, then they just don't block Lukaku and themselves. They're blocking the wing backs as well. And that's why we just have this, sideways passing, because they have got no options. If you don't move and don't create the gaps, even your wing backs won't have options. So that's the thing I wanted to point out. But yes, I do completely agree with the backline.
No, 100%, man. I mean, very important. The way we play, the wing backs are so important, and they got to be attacked. I'm just not happy, man. Honestly, I'm not happy with. We need more quality in the wing backs. As I said, they're like our playmakers, and right now they're just not cutting it. We need higher quality. The reason why I also selected AC in the middle, because I don't know if he's utterly comfortable playing in the RCB role. He got absolutely destroyed by Chiesa. I know Southampton's not going to have that Chiesa kind of quality, but I do like AC more in the middle as opposed to being in the RCB role. He can play there, but for this game, I would like him back. So that's it. And when you have someone like Chalobah who actually enjoys playing in that RCB role and does it really well, let's actually play players in their right position. In the midfield, Daniel, I mean, are we going to have any surprise? I feel like there shouldn't be. It should just be Kova and Jorginho again. I mean, are you expecting Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Are you expecting Saul? No, Kante, obviously, he's still injured. And Pulisic as well is still injured in terms of the front players. But as much as I want Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Daniel, I just can't see him starting, man. I really can't see him starting.
100% agree. Look, I as well, I want to reward Ruben Loftus-Cheek for his performances. I want Tuchel to give him the game. And, in fairness, he has been slowly integrating him into that first team. But the fact that Thomas Tuchel came out and said, Romelu Lukaku seems to only have that connection with Mason Mount and Kovacic leads me to believe that Kovacic is going to start this match. And I can't see Thomas Tuchel operating in a 2 midfield system with Kovacic, that dynamic box-to-box attacking
and Ruben
midfielder,
Loftus-Cheek.
and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who
it just
is
won't
not
happen.
really known for his defensive prowess. So
Yeah.
I anticipate, yes, Kovacic, Jorginho will start this match. But those two need to, I don't know. It's tough. I don't want to be overly critical because I think they've just been so fantastic the past 6 months.
I know what you're trying to say. You want
Yeah.
those two to be a little bit more intense against the Southampton team, as Ishan said. Will sit deep. You want them to take the game on. I completely agree. Ishan, before we go to the front three, just quickly, Kovac, Jorginho is what you're going with as well. You can't see Saul or Ruben Loftus-Cheek here, can you?
No. I do agree with Kovacic and Jorginho, but I'm not sure where we're heading with Saul because we're handcuffed. We're handcuffed with Saul.
Do you remember, Ishan, in the transfer window month, I said I'm not really seeing the reason for Saul because he's the fourth choice.
Yeah.
The three will get Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic will get mostly. Then we have options with Ampadu, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And look, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has stepped up. So, Saul, you're now fifth. Anyway, that's for another show. I can't be stuffed talking about that now. I hope Saul comes good. I really do hope he comes good. It is what it is. Okay. I'm going to go with the front three. Then I want to see what you guys have to say. I'm going to change the formation a little bit.
Let's have our default first.
As in default, as in the inside forwards?
Lukaku.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
He's our default player.
I'm glad none of you were saying Lukaku needs to be dropped because I was ready for a full-on debate.
I mean, Daniel, we're not one of those fools.
I'm
glad to hear that.
I think this player comes back. It's very important. His ability to win the ball back quickly, the counter press. So obviously we're going to have most of the possession, but when we do lose the ball in odd occasion, he's the one who presses quickly to win it back along with these players, and they follow suit. So I do want Mason Mount back in this team and be that connector. And as Thomas Tuchel's already said, his connection with Lukaku is a lot better, along with Kovacic. And boys, I do want to see this. I don't want to give up on this. And I'm not saying Timo Werner is some sort of a world-class player for us, but I think in order to get the best out of Lukaku, at the moment, Havertz, Ziyech, I know some people may say Callum. Why not give Callum a chance? But I would like to give Callum a chance, but I feel like Timo Werner, with his speed and his movement, will be a bit of an issue for Southampton. And someone like Lukaku could take advantage of that. When Werner is moving some of these defenders, dragging some of the defenders away, it should hopefully open up some space for Lukaku in that deep block and getting that opportunity. And there's been rumors that Timo Werner this particular week, apparently he'll reassess his situation at Chelsea. So, Ishan, I'll go to you first up before I go to Daniel. Matt Law came up with the article that Timo Werner, if he can't make it back into the starting lineup, he will reassess his situation. And there's big suitors for him in Germany. I mean, do you like this front three, or are you going with something else?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with this front three, and this is what I was thinking about. But yeah, maybe we can bring in a Loftus-Cheek maybe in the second half. Maybe
even a Callum Hudson-Odoi in the second half as well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, talking about Werner, I think so. He'll assess his position according to the availability of players that we have for the attacking tens. And at this point of time, he's definitely one of the players that we recommend for attacking team. Or maybe just like we have this formation ready beside Lukaku as a second striker. But the thing here is, if we see Werner play good and find form at any time, he definitely will be undroppable. And I know that. Even if not goal, maybe if assists or any sort of goal contribution, Werner will definitely be, consistent in the starting lineup. And I know that because there are many times we saw that whenever we thought that, Werner might not get selected, somehow or some way he comes up and just gives a goal contribution. And he then again in the next game comes up with more assists. At this point of time, it's not likely at the same situation. But if Werner just clicks with Lukaku and that chemistry rises up, it'll be difficult for the other players to substitute Werner and make a place in that position, because if these two guys click and they have their chemistry well on, in a good form with some good intensity and fluidic, then Werner and Lukaku would be starting for the majority time. And if Werner starts for the majority of the season, he'll be happy and he'll be staying at the end of the day. So the bottom line here is Werner needs to perform good. If Werner performs good, he's going to stay in the playing 11 more often and he's going to be happy. If Werner does not perform good and does not bring the output that a team is expected, or does not, bind up with the other players and play good, bring the positiveness in the gameplay, if he does not do that, he won't be starting and featuring for more games. And maybe if that's the case, he might leave in the end of the season, and we should not be surprised by that. Why? Because we've got so many options that it's definitely a concern for him that how he's going to overtake so many players and make his place in the playing 11. So you should not be surprised if Werner leaves, but it's up to Werner now. If Werner plays good and he's in form and everything just clicks right, he's going to definitely start more games and he'll be staying.
No, 100%. Absolutely well said. And ladies and gentlemen, I've actually made a Timo Werner video literally about 4 or 5 hours ago. Do check that out, where I talk about this in detail. I'll probably pin it in the messages, in the pin messages. So do check that out. Daniel, this is the 3 that I'm sort of thinking. I mean, are you thinking otherwise, or are you happy with this 3?
Look, I am quite torn on this one because I'm just not sure with Timo Werner. I especially in this fixture against a Southampton team that is probably going to sit back a little deeper. Timo Werner isn't really that player that I back in those one-on-one situations, or to get, to take players on and run past them. He just hasn't shown that in a Chelsea shirt. The other, I guess another thing to take into consideration, and this may sound, kind of crazy, but does Thomas Tuchel even operate with a back 5 or a back 3, right? Because we've seen him toy with the idea of a back 4 in the cup game against Villa. And when I look at this back 5, I just think it's so defensive, right? And we're struggling to create chances. We're struggling to score goals. Thomas Tuchel has said we have a plan that he thinks might work against Southampton. Is he considering maybe playing in a 4-back formation to utilize our attacking options? Because we have, minus Pulisic, we have 5 attacking players. And I think in order to get the best out of him, we need to maybe consider, tinkering with the system slightly. Because, lads, I'll run you through some stats of our.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's heating up now. So we've got in our front 6, right? We've got Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Werner, Kai Havertz. So Hakim Ziyech, in his last 30 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. Hudson-Odoi, 3 goals, 4 assists. Pulisic, 5 goals, 4 assists. Timo Werner, 4 goals, 7 assists. And Kai Havertz, 5 goals, 3 assists. It is not good enough from any of these support players. That's money.
30 games. Last 30 games.
30 games. Not one player is hitting double digits. Now, I understand that we weren't banging in goals for fun last season, and we haven't been this season, but it's not good enough. In Romelu Lukaku, in contrast, 16 goals, 7 assists. So he's proven to be a consistent goal scorer. No one else in this Chelsea side has shown their quality. So, like with the front 3, it's just, I don't know where we go from here, because the front 3 aren't banging in the goals. I mean, we've gotten away with it, I feel, for so long this season. Since Arsenal, I don't think we've played well. I can't think of a good 90-minute performance.
We haven't. So, even the Arsenal one, I'd probably say we could have gone a few more gears more, but we 100% just couldn't.
So, whilst I love the back 3, it's worked wonders. But I look at the options. Aspi doesn't really bring much going forward. Chilwell doesn't bring much going forward. Do we potentially sacrifice a Chalobah to put it into a back 4 and maybe utilize our attacking options? That's my other suggestion, maybe. But I'm also thinking maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi. Maybe we need a player if we are going to operate in a 3-4-3, maybe we need Callum Hudson-Odoi, a player that is, more proven in those one-on-one situations, a player that likes to take on players, because Timo Werner, I just don't know what he brings right now. He's good off the ball. His movement off the ball is decent, but he doesn't finish enough chances. He doesn't create enough chances right now. And it didn't work, at least against Manchester City. I'm being harsh, but I don't know.
I hear. 100% here, Daniel. I mean, this is probably a match where, if you think about it, the opposition should probably predominantly stay back. So you're thinking, okay, maybe we could do with the two at the back with the double pivot. But I'm just concerned the way we get sliced open in a transition. I'm just concerned about that.
Villa caused us problems when we played in the back four. It was... we were very lucky.
10 minutes, 15 minutes, Villa was all over us. And then we quickly reverted back to the 3 because 100%. We just couldn't handle it. And I feel like this is something that needs to be worked on a regular basis for us to then try it out in the game.
Yeah.
I completely hear what you're saying, Daniel. It's just, I don't think he's going to risk it in a Premier League
It's
game.
not that dire yet, is it? It's still, it's not terrible situation for sure.
Exactly. So, and once again, Ishan has always said he's not the biggest fan of Timo Werner, but I feel like right now we do need to give this an opportunity, because Havertz and Ziyech don't deserve a chance at the moment. And Callum, as much as he does deserve a chance, I don't think he's going to get ahead of Werner at the moment. That's the thing. As Ishan said, once again, maybe Callum off the bench. This is why I said maybe Callum in the right wing-back position and Aspie as a RCB. But that's not the best thing for Callum either. But look, I'm happy to lock this in for the time being. Obviously, there could be so many different permutations. Boys, let's just keep it as it is. What's your score prediction, Ishan? I'll go to you first up, man.
I'm not confident, man. I'm really not. No,
many times at Chelsea.
I'm not confident, man.
I'm not. No, I mean, I don't know why you're laughing, but I'm actually not confident. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, it's been. People might see just the 2 games, Man City and Juventus. No, I see games right from Aston Villa where we've not been clinical.
True.
And not intensified enough. And in fact, right from the beginning of the season, where we thought that this is not our maximum potential. This just a lower level. We can be better. But instead of becoming better, we're going down and degrading. And this is not how we should be progressing into the season. So yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not confident, and this is taking a toll on the team's performance and result now after the past 2 losses.
Yeah.
So I'm not confident at all, and I won't go ahead of myself. I don't know, but I'll say a 1-1. I'm sorry, but I'll say a 1-1.
Ooh, 1-1, man. That would just kill me, man. Honestly, that would kill me. Daniel, what are you going with, man?
Look, I think it's going to be 1 or 2 results. It's either going to be a devastating defeat, I think.
Boys, what's going on today with you guys?
Hear me out. Or a comprehensive victory. I don't see it being a 2-1. We might slip, we might just get the result. I think either it's just going to go in. Timo Werner's going to get on the score sheet. Rom's going to get back on the score sheet. Or it's going to be a really
you sound more
shaky
nervous than
performance.
You sound more nervous than
Look,
me then.
I'm going to be optimistic. With all my pessimism, I'm going to say a 4-0 victory. Romelu Lukaku to get himself 2, and Timo Werner to get himself 2. How about that? But
all right.
I'm not. Look, hey, we'll see what happens. But I feel Thomas Tuchel's going to bounce back. I just don't think that things are that dire, But if we lose this fixture, I think we're going to see. Yeah.
It's going to be a long international break if we lose, Daniel. If we lose, I think I might have to just go on holiday. We have to bounce back.
So just imagine the controversies going on.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the different things that are going to be talked about is incredible. 4-0. Wow. I would love
Yeah.
that scoreline, but these guys have not conceded against City, have not conceded against West Ham, and 1-1 against Man United. So this is from a team that's not scoring enough goals to
Not
score
scoring,
4.
but hey, breakthrough.
A breakthrough. Look, I'll take the 4-0. I'm going for a 1-0, man. If we can just squeeze a 1-0, a dirty performance, get me the 1-0.
I want goals though. I want goals.
I do.
want a
I want
1-0.
goals. I want goals as well, man. I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
I just want a comprehensive victory. You know, how long's it been?
Why out of nowhere we sound like Arsenal fans? I don't know.
Oh man, the last 2 defeats have killed us. Look, I'm going with a 1-0. Hopefully, we can regroup and rethink about everything, and then we've got Brentford after the international break. Ishan's going with a 1-0. That's gonna hurt, man.
This
That really will. This guy, I know he's spicing things up, and Daniel's going to a 4-0, resounding.
I had to.
You're spicing it more, Daniel.
Make us happy. Make us happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Check out the boys and their socials in the description. Check out Daniel's YouTube channel. The link is there. Please click on it, subscribe, and also smash the like button. Get the likes up to whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like close to 100 would be brilliant. Whatever the number is, please smash the like button, every single one of you guys, when you're watching it. And subscribe. Very, very close to 8,000 subscribers. So please subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this preview. We will be back with Ishan and myself for the watch along and the review tomorrow. Until next time, see ya.